Reyes, and I'm going to do a speech over the seven classic wonders of the world. The seven classic great wonders of the world, they all reflect the culture, beliefs, values, and the technology of the people who built them. It also goes over the fact of the environmental constraints that they had to face, like the geographical features like hills and valleys and stuff. Okay. The first great wonder I'm going to go over is the Great Pyramid of Giza. The Great Pyramid of Giza is the largest and oldest pyramid. The Great Pyramid of Giza is not all of these pyramids. It's actually this one, and its name is Khufu. Khufu weighs 6.5 million tons. It covers 13 acres, and it's believed to have about 2 million stones that weigh from 2 tons to 30 tons. So, and the Great Pyramid of Giza remained the tallest structure until the 19th century, and it's the only great wonder to exist today. And next is the Hanging Gardens of Babylon. The Hanging Gardens of Babylon is the only wonder whose location wasn't known. The gardens are said to be constructed in the 6th century BC as a gift. Well, it was a gift from it was a gift to this man's wife to remind her of her homeland, which is now modern-day Iran. And if the gardens actually existed, it would have taken 8,200 gallons of water each day to keep the plants watered. And the statue of Zeus at Olympia. The statue of Zeus at Olympia was a giant seated figure, and it was about 12 meters tall, sitting down. It was made by Phidias around 432 in the sanctuary of Olympia. The statue was made of ivory and gold-plated plates on a wooden frame. The statue was actually moved to Constantinople, and it was destroyed by a fire in the year 462. Yeah, and it said that the statue of Zeus was so large that if it stood up, its head would be through the roof of the temple. The Temple of Artemis at Ephesus. The temple was built around 323 BC. The temple was made of mostly marble. It was decorated with 127 ionic columns. The columns stood about 60 feet tall, and the temple was destroyed by Herostratus as a way to get famous, but it backfired because anyone who spoke his name was sentenced to death. And the fire that Herostratus set to the temple of Artemis took place on the same day that Alexander the Great was born. The Mausoleum of Halicarnassus. The Mausoleum of Halicarnassus was actually a tomb, and it was built between 353 BC and 350 BC. It was built for Molossus and his wife, or his sister wife. It stood 148 feet tall. The building was destroyed by an earthquake, and it was demolished in 1494. The location was lost, but it was rediscovered by Charles Newton in the 19th century. He managed to find some walls and a staircase and 3/4 of the foundation. And at the top of this mausoleum was a sculpture depicting Mausolus and Artemisia, his sister wife, in a chariot being pulled by 4 massive horses. And it was very common back then for royalty to marry their siblings. So, the next is the Colossus of Rhodes. The Colossus of Rhodes was a giant statue of the Greek god Helios. He was the god of the sun. It was erected in the city of Rhodes in 280 BC. It stood for 60 years at 150 feet tall until it was destroyed by an earthquake. There is rumor that architects plan to build a new monument just 5 times as big. And both the Colossus of Rhodes and the Statue of Liberty were built as symbols of freedom. This is the Lighthouse of Alexandria. The Lighthouse of Alexandria was built between 280 BC and 247 BC. The lighthouse was between 120 to 137 meters tall. The only taller man-made structure at the time would be the Great Pyramid of Giza. The lighthouse was actually built in 3 stages, each sloping slightly inward. The lowest part was a square, the next was an octagonal, and the top was cylindrical. A broad spiral ramp led to the top where a fire was burned each night. And in today's money, it would have cost about $3 million to build. In 290 BC, it cost 800 talents, which was their form of money at the time. If you're anything like me, 2 weeks ago, I didn't know all of these wonders of the world. But there are modern wonders of the world, such as the Great Wall of China, the Panama Canal, and the Brooklyn Bridge, and there's many more. But these 7 classic wonders, they open up a doorway for us. They're the reason why we are able to build so many beautiful wonders today. And it's just another reason why we shouldn't forget about them.